students of ExamsNet, welcome to the question series of ExamsNet. I hope this series of detailed explanation is helping you a lot. Let's start this session. Here is a question. A point P x comma y is such that its distances from -1 comma 0 and 0 comma 2 are in the ratio of √2:1. Then the locus of P is. According to this question, consider a line which is AB. P is the midpoint of AB and the coordinates are 0, 2 and -1, 0. And for P, the coordinates are x, y. And the ratio here is √2:1. It means that PA upon PB is equal to √2/1. Now, by using the distance formula, we can calculate PA. Distance formula is under root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. So PA will be equals to under root of x plus 1 whole square plus y minus 0 whole square, which is equals to x square plus 1 plus 2x plus y square. Similarly, we can calculate PB. PB will be equals to under root of x minus 0 whole square plus y minus 2 whole square. It will be equal to x square plus y square plus 4 plus 4y. Now, on substituting this value, we get x square plus 1 plus 2x plus y square divided by x square plus y square plus 4 plus 4y is equal to √2/1. On squaring the right hand side, it will be 2/1. So on cross multiplying, this becomes x square plus 1 plus 2x plus y square is equal to 2x square plus 2y square plus 8y plus 8. On further solving, this becomes 2x square plus 2y square plus 8y plus 8 minus x square minus 1 minus 2x minus y square is equal to 0. So it becomes x square plus y square plus 8y minus 2x plus 7 is equal to 0. This can be also written as x minus 1 whole square plus y minus 4 whole square is equal to 10. See, let us expand this. On expanding this equation, we get x square plus 1 minus 2x plus y square plus 16 plus 8y is equals to 10. So it becomes x square plus y square plus 8y minus 2x plus 7 is equal to 0, which is our desired equation. So we can write it in the form x minus 1 whole square plus y minus 4 whole square is equal to 10. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is option number A. Moving on to the next question. Next question is, if a point alpha, beta of 3x plus y is equal to 0 and 3, 4 lie on the opposite sides of 3x minus 4y minus 8 is equal to 0, then which of the following is correct? So here, let the points alpha and beta be P1 and let it be x1, y1. So according to the equation, 3x plus y is equal to 0. The points are x and minus 3x. And let another point be P2, which will be x2, y2, which is given 3, 4. We know that the standard form of the equation is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. And we have the equation 3x minus 4y minus 8 is equal to 0. So we can write it as ax1 plus by1 plus c into ax2 plus by2 plus c is less than 0. So substituting the values, it will be 3 into x plus 12x minus 8 into minus of 15 less than 0. On further calculating, this becomes 3x plus 12x minus 8 and minus of 15 less than 0. So it becomes 15x minus 8 is greater than 0. Now again we have to replace this x by alpha, because in the starting we have supposed alpha and beta is x and y. So it can be written as 15 alpha minus 8 is greater than 0. Therefore, we can say that the true statement among the following is 15 alpha minus 8 is greater than 0, which is option number A here. Next question is, if a particle moving along x minus 2y minus 3 is equals to 0 gets reflected in a perpendicular direction upon hitting the line 3x minus 2y minus 5 is equal to 0, then the line of the movement of the particle after reflection is. See, we have two equations. Equations of incident rays x minus 2y minus 3 is equal to 0, and equation for surface is 3x minus 2y minus 5 is equal to 0. Now, let us assume that the incident ray surface and the reflected ray are coplanar. Therefore, the point of intersection will be x minus 2y minus 3 is equal to 0 and 3x minus 2y minus 5 is equal to 0. So, from here we can say that y will be equal to x upon 2 minus 3 upon 2. On solving both this equation, we get x is equal to 1 and y is equal to minus 1. Therefore, we can say that the point of intersection is 1 comma minus 1. Now, let slope of the reflection ray be equal to m. Therefore, equation of reflected ray will be y plus 1 is equal to m into x minus 1. Since we know that the incident ray and the reflected ray are inclined to the normal, that is the angle from the incident ray to the normal is equal to the angle from the normal to the reflected ray. Therefore, we can write 1 by 2 minus minus 2 by 3 divided by 1 plus 1 by 2 into minus 2 by 3 is equal to minus 2 by 3 minus m divided by 1 plus minus 2 by 3 into m. On further simplification, it will be m plus 2 by 3 divided by 1 minus 2m by 3. It is equals to 3 plus 4 upon 6 divided by 1 minus 1 by 3. So it becomes 3m plus 2 divided by 3 minus 2m is equal to minus 7 upon 4. So we can say that from here, the value of m will be equal to, see, we have to simply calculate in this case. And after calculating, the value of m is the value that we will get. And the value of m here will be 1 by 2. So, m is the slope here. Therefore, the equation becomes 2x plus y minus 1 is equal to 0. So we can say that the equation here is 2x plus y minus 1 is equal to 0, which is option number B here. Next question is the family of lines forming an isosceles triangle with the lines 3x minus 4y minus 2 is equal to 0 and 12x minus 5y plus 6 is equal to 0 is. In this question, we have to use a condition which is a1, a2 plus b1, b2 should be greater than 0. So, comparing both this equation, a1, a2 means 3 into 12, which is 36, plus b1, b2. b1, b2 means 4 into 5, which is 20. It is greater than 0. Therefore, the equation of bisectors of line will be 3x minus 4y minus 2 divided by under root of 3 square plus 4 square is equal to plus minus 12x minus 5y plus 6 divided by under root of 12 square plus 5 square. Now, on further calculation, it becomes 3x minus 4y minus 2 divided by 5 is equal to plus minus 12x minus 5y plus 6 divided by 13. On cross multiplication, it will be 13 into 3x minus 4y minus 2 is equal to plus minus 5 into 12x minus 5y plus 6. So we will have two values, one value for plus sign and one value for minus sign. So the values will be 39x minus 52y minus 26 is equals to 60x minus 25y plus 30, and another value here will be 39x minus 52y minus 26 is equal to minus 60x plus 25y minus 30. So taking all the numbers and all the variables on one side, it becomes 99x minus 77y plus 4 is equal to 0. Taking 11 common from first and second term, it becomes 9x minus 7y plus 4 is equal to 0. Here, c is equal to 4. So replacing 4 by c, we get 9x minus 7y plus c is equal to 0. 11 will also go to the right hand side, so it will be also 0. So the equation becomes 9x minus 7y. See, equation is 9x minus 7y plus c is equal to 0. So we can say that the family of lines forming the isosceles triangle with the given line is 9x minus 7y plus c is equal to 0. Therefore, option number C is the correct option for this question. Next question is, the straight lines passing through point minus 1 comma 1 and remaining parallel to the line common to the pairs of the line provided by 6x square minus xy minus 12y square is equal to 0 and 15x square plus 14xy minus 8y square is equal to 0 is. So we have two equations, and the equations are 6x square minus xy minus 12y square is equal to 0 and 15x square plus 14xy minus 8y square is equal to 0. So by splitting the middle term method, we can write this equation as 6x square minus 9xy plus 8xy minus 12y square is equal to 0. Taking 3x common from the first two terms, the remaining terms will be 2x minus 3y plus taking 4y common, the remaining terms will be 2x minus 3y is equal to 0. So the factors are 2x minus 3y and 3x plus 4y is equal to 0. Now, the second equation here is 15x square plus 14xy minus 8y square is equal to 0. Again, using splitting the middle term method, it can be written as 15x square plus 20xy minus 6xy minus 8y square is equal to 0. Taking 5x common from the first two terms, the remaining terms will be 3x plus 4y. Taking 2 minus of 2y common, the remaining terms will be 3x plus 4y is equal to 0. So the factors here will be 3x plus 4y and 5x minus 2y is equal to 0. You can see that in both the given factors, the common factor is 3x plus 4y, which is present in both the equation. So here 3x plus 4y plus k will be equal to 0. And here k is equal to minus 1 because it is given that it passes through the point minus 1 comma 1. Therefore, the equation becomes 3x plus 4y minus 1 is equal to 0. So we can say that the required equation is 3x plus 4y minus 1 is equal to 0, which is option number B here. Next question is a very interesting question, and this kind of question always comes in the exam. The question is the midpoint of the diagonal of a rectangle formed by x square plus 5x minus 6 is equal to 0 and y square minus 8y minus 20 is equal to 0 is. Here we have to use splitting the middle term and we have to find the value for x and y. So let us see the first equation. It can be written as x square plus 6x minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Taking x common, it becomes x plus 6. Taking minus 1 common, it will be x plus 6 is equal to 0. So the equation becomes x plus 6 and x minus 1 is equal to 0. So the values of x are minus 6 and plus 1. Now, second equation can be written as y square minus 10y plus 2y minus 20 is equal to 0. Taking y common from first two terms, remaining terms will be y minus 10 plus taking 2 common, remaining terms will be y minus 10 is equal to 0. Factors will be y minus 10 and y plus 2 is equal to 0. So y will be equals to 10 and minus 2. Now we have the endpoints and the endpoints are minus 6 comma 10 and 1 comma minus 2. We know that the midpoint of a rectangle can be calculated by adding together the x value of the rectangle's left limit with the x value of the rectangle's right limit and dividing the sum by 2, and same for the values for y. So x values are minus 6 and 1. So minus 6 plus 1 divided by 2, and for y values it is 10 and minus 2. So 10 plus minus 2 divided by 2. So the midpoints will be minus 6 plus 1 is minus 5 by 2 and 10 minus 2 is 8 by 2, which is 4. So the midpoints will be minus 5 by 2 and 4. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is option number C. See, this kind of questions are very simple, but it seems a little bit tricky. But it always comes in exam. So it is a very, very important question. Next question is, suppose two tangents PA and PB are drawn to a circle centered at C1, 2 from the point P 16, 7. If the area of the quadrilateral PACB is 75 square units, then the radius of the circle is. So we have to find the radius of the circle. It is given that two tangents are drawn to the circle. So consider a figure. Let this be the circle and let this be the center. Two tangents are drawn to it. So it must be this way. Let us join it by the center. Let this point be A and let this point be B and let this point be P. So the center here is 1, 2. We have to find the radius. So let us join center with P. The coordinates of P are 16, 7 and the center is 1, 2. So by using distance formula, we can calculate CP. So here CP will be equal to under root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. So it will be equals to under root of 16 minus 1 square plus 7 minus 2 square, which will be equal to 15 square, which is 225, plus 7 minus 2 is 5 square, which is 25. So it will be equal to 5 root 10. Now consider it as 5 because the distance is never in under root for whenever the tangents are given. So considering it as 5, therefore we can say that if CP means the center and the point P, the distance from the center to the point P is 5, it means that PA is equal to PB is also equal to 5. And we know that since the tangents are drawn, so angle APB is equal to 90 degree. Also, since there are two tangents, so we can say that CA is perpendicular to PA and CB is perpendicular to PB. Now consider the triangles PAC and PBC. In both these triangles, we have angles which are equal, which is angle PAC is equal to angle PBC is equal to 90 degree. Also PC is equal to PC and AC is equal to BC. Therefore, we can say that by RHS, triangle PAC is congruent to triangle PBC. Since it is congruent, so angle APC will be equal to angle BPC. And we know that angle APB is equal to angle APC plus angle BPC, which is equal to 90 degree. So it becomes 2 angle APC is equal to 90 degree. So angle APC will be equal to 45 degree. Now consider the triangle APC. You can see in the figure the triangle APC. So in triangle APC, 45 degree plus 90 degree plus ACP is equal to 180 degree. We know that sum of the angles of triangle is 180 degree. So ACP will be equal to 180 degree minus 90 degree minus 45 degree. So ACP will be equal to 45 degree. Since ACP is 45 degree and APC is 45 degree, therefore we can say that AC is equal to AP, and we know that AP is 5. So we can say that AC, which is the radius, is also 5 units. So we can say that the radius of the given circle is 5. Hence option A is the correct option for this question. Next question is a very, very important question. And this type of questions are always appearing in exams. Not one time, not two times, but many a times. So understand it very carefully. The question is the center of the circle that passes through the point 0, 1 and touches the curve y is equal to x square at 2, 4 is. We have the equation of the given curve, which is y is equal to x square at 2, 4. Now, equation of tangent at 4, 4 will be y minus 4 is equal to 4 into x minus 2. So y will be equal to 4x minus 4. So it can be x minus 2 whole square plus y minus 4 whole square plus lambda into y minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. And we know that the circle passes there at the point 0, 1. So it becomes 4 plus 9 plus lambda into 1 plus 4 is equal to 0. On further simplification, it becomes 13 plus 5 lambda is equal to 0. So lambda is equal to minus 13 upon 5. Now we have the value for lambda. Therefore, x square plus 4 minus 4x plus y square plus 16 minus 8y plus minus 13 upon 5 into y minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. So we can write it as x square plus minus 4 plus 52 upon 5 into x plus y square plus y into minus 8 minus 12 upon 5 plus 4 plus 16 minus of 52 upon 5 is equal to 0. On further simplification, it will be equals to x square plus 32 upon 5x plus y square minus 53 upon 5y plus 48 upon 5 is equal to 0. So it becomes x square plus y square plus 32 by 5x minus 53 by 5y plus 48 by 5 is equal to 0. Therefore, we can say that the center of the circle is minus 16 by 5 and 53 upon 10. So the center is minus 16 by 5 and 53 upon 10. So the correct option will be option number B here. Option number C is the correct option, minus 16 upon 5 and 53 upon 10. I hope this question is clear to you. Next question is the slope of the normal to the circle x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0 at point x1 comma y1 is. So consider a circle. Let this be the circle and let this be the center, which is C. Let this be the point P, which is x1 comma y1. We know that center for a circle is minus g comma minus f, and radius is equals to under root of g square plus f square minus c. And we know that normal passes through the center. So equation of normal will be equal to y minus y1 is equal to minus f minus y1 divided by minus g minus x1 into x minus x1. So y minus y1 will be equal to f plus y1 divided by g plus x1 and into x minus x1. This is the equation of normal and we have to find the slope. So we know that slope is y is equal to mx plus c, and here slope is m. So m is equal to f plus y1 divided by g plus x1. So we can say that the correct option here is option number D, which is y1 plus f upon x1 plus g. I hope that this question is also clear to you. See, this kind of questions are a little bit tricky, but when you know the basic concepts, you can easily solve all these questions. Next question is the circle possessing y-axis as its tangent at 0, 2 and passing through minus 1, 0 also passes through. So here let center of the circle be h, 2, then radius will be mod of h. Therefore, the equation of circle becomes x minus h square plus y minus 2 square is equal to h square. As it passes through the point minus 1, 0, then it becomes minus 1 minus h square plus 0 minus 2 square is equal to h square. So it will be equal to 1 plus h square plus 2h plus 4 is equal to h square. 2h plus 5 is equal to 0. H is equal to minus 5 by 2. Since h is equals to minus 5 by 2, therefore distance of center from the point x, y will be x plus 5 by 2 whole square plus y minus 2 whole square is equal to 25 by 4, which is h square. Now, let us check this equation with option A. Option A is minus 3 by 2, 0. So distance of the center from minus 3 by 2, 0 will be minus 3 by 2 plus 5 by 2 whole square plus 0 minus 2 whole square is equal to 1 plus 4, which is not equal to 25 by 4. Therefore, option A is not correct. Now let us check it with option B. So option B here is minus 5 by 2 and 2. So the distance of the center from minus 5 by 2 comma 2 will be minus 5 by 2 plus 5 by 2 whole square plus 2 minus 2 whole square, which is equals to 0, and again it is not equals to 25 by 4. Therefore option B is also not correct. Now let us check it with option C. Option C is minus 3 by 2 comma 5 by 2. Distance of center from minus 3 by 2 comma minus 5 by 2 will be minus 3 by 2 plus 5 by 2 whole square plus minus 5 by 2 minus 2 whole square, which will be equal to 1 plus 81 upon 4, which is equal to 85 upon 5. Again, it is not equals to 25 upon 4. So let us check it with option D. Option D is minus 4 comma 0. So distance of the center from minus 4 comma 0 will be minus 4 plus 5 by 2 whole square plus 0 minus 2 whole square is equal to 1 plus 81 upon 4, which will be equal to 9 by 4 plus 4, which will be equals to 9 plus 16 upon 4, which is equal to 25 upon 4. Therefore, we can say that it passes through minus 4 comma 0 because it has satisfied the given equation. Therefore, the correct option here is option number D. Next question is, suppose the tangents drawn to the circle x square plus y square minus 6x minus 4y minus 11 is equal to 0 from P1, 8 touch the circle at A and B, then the center of the circle passing through P, A and B is. So to understand this question, first let us make the required circles. So let this be a circle and again let this be another circle. Let this be the center of the circle and let this be a point P. So considering two tangents for this circle, PA and PB. So this is A, this is B, and this is the center. So mark it as C. We know that since it is a tangent, it will be 90 degree. Again joining P and C, this will be the diameter of the bigger circle. Now let this be S2 and let this be S1. We know that angle PAC will be equal to 90 degree and here the diameter is PC. So D is equal to PC and we have point P which is 1, 8 and C which is 3, 2. Therefore, the equation will be x minus 1 into x minus 3 plus y minus 8 into y minus 2 is equal to 0. Now on further multiplication, it becomes x square minus 4x plus 3 plus y square minus 10y plus 16 is equal to 0. So it will be x square plus y square minus 4x minus 10y plus 19 is equal to 0. We know that we have to find the center and center is always equals to minus g comma minus f and here the values of g and f are 2, 5. So the center of this circle will be 2, 5, which is option number A here. Next question is a very interesting question. The parabola with focus at 4, minus 3 and vertex at 4, minus 1 is. We have to find the equation of the parabola. Therefore, let A 4, minus 1 be the vertex and let S 4, minus 3 be the focus. Now, slope of AS will be equal to minus 3 plus 1 divided by 4 minus 4, which is equal to infinity. So we can say that AS is parallel to y-axis. Therefore, directrix parallel to x-axis. Now, let Z x1 comma y1 be foot of the directrix. Then A is the midpoint of SZ. Therefore, 4 will be equal to x1 plus 4 divided by 2. So we can say that x1 will be equal to 4. Similarly, minus 1 will be equal to y1 minus 3 divided by 2. So y1 will be equal to 1. So we have the point Z which is equal to 4 comma 1. Also we know that directrix is parallel to x-axis and it passes through the point Z 4 comma 1. Therefore the equation of directrix will be y is equal to 1 or y minus 1 is equal to 0. Now, let a point P, x comma y be any point on parabola. Now, after joining SP and drawing a perpendicular to the directrix, we have SP is equal to PM. So, therefore, SP square will be equal to PM square. Now, substituting the values here, it will be x minus 4 whole square plus y plus 3 whole square will be equal to mod of y minus 1 divided by root 1 square whole square. So it will be x minus 4 whole square plus y plus 3 whole square is equal to y minus 1 whole square. On further simplification, it will be x square minus 8x plus 8y plus 24 is equal to 0. So this is the required equation for the given question. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is x square minus 8x plus 8y plus 24 is equal to 0, which is option number D here. Next question also comes from conic section, and the question is, if the latus rectum of an ellipse is equal to half of the minor axis, then its eccentricity is. We know that length of latus rectum is equal to 2b square upon a, which will be equal to b. Now 2b upon a is equal to 1. So 2b will be equal to a and b will be equals to a by 2. If b is equal to a by 2, then therefore c will be equal to under root of 2b square minus b square, which is equal to b root 3. Therefore, eccentricity E will be equal to c upon a, which is b root 3 upon a. Substituting for a, we get E is equal to a by 2 into root 3 upon a. So a and a will be cancelled. So it will be root 3 by 2. Therefore, we can say that the required eccentricity for this question is root 3 by 2. Therefore, option number D is the correct option for this question. See, it was a very, very simple question. Next question is, let L x1 comma 4 be the end of the latus rectum of the hyperbola x square upon a square minus y square upon b square is equal to 1 lying in the first quadrant, and let S 8 comma y1 be the focus of the given hyperbola, then the length of its transverse axis is. We know that here latus rectum is given by L x1 comma 4 and it passes through the points x1 comma y1. So it becomes x1 square upon a square minus y1 square upon b square is equal to 1. Let this be equation 1 and let this be equation 2. We have to find length of its transverse axis. Therefore, length of its transverse axis will be equal to 2 into 2 into under root of 8 into 2 plus 1 minus 1, which will be equal to 4 into under root of 16 plus 1 minus 1, which will be equal to 4 into under root of 17 minus 1. So the length of its transverse axis will be 4 into under root of 17 minus 1. Therefore, we can say that the correct option here is option number B. Next question is, if the line 3x minus my plus 5 is equal to 0 is a tangent to the hyperbola 3x square minus 4y square is equal to 300, then the square of the y-intercept made by this tangent line is. See, there are two equations, which is 3x minus my plus 5 is equal to 0. This is for the tangent. And 3x square minus 4y square is equal to 300. This is for the hyperbola. So the standard form will be x square upon 4 minus y square upon 3 is equal to 25. Here a square is equal to 4 and b square is equal to 3. And we know that slope, which is m, it is equal to 3. We also know that from first equation 3x plus 5 will be equal to my and y will be equal to 3x plus 5 upon m. So again, y will be equal to under root of 25 into 5 plus 100 divided by 7 into 7, which gives under root of 225 upon 49, which will be equal to 15 upon 7. So we can say that the value for this question is 15 upon 7. This is the value of square of y-intercept made by this tangent line. So the correct option here is option number D. Moving on to the next question. Next question is, if the vertices of a triangle ABC are A 1, 2, 3, B H minus 3, 0, and C 4, minus 4, K and minus 1, and the centroid of the triangle is 5, minus 1 and 2 by 3, then triangle ABC is. So let us consider a triangle which is ABC. So let this be the triangle ABC. It is little bit slant. And let this be the angle C. We know that in a triangle, angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. So angle C will be equal to 180 degree minus angle A minus angle B. Therefore, here we can say that angle C will be greater than 90 degree. Therefore, 180 degree minus angle A minus angle B is greater than 90 degree. Therefore, 180 degree minus 90 degree is greater than angle A plus angle B. Hence, we can say that AB is greater than AC and AB is greater than BC. Therefore, we can say that it is a obtuse angled triangle. So the correct option will be option number A, which is an obtuse angled triangle. Next question is, if A, B and C are the direction ratios of a line L and L, M and N are its direction cosines, then A square upon B square plus C square is equal to. We know that if ABC are the direction ratios and L, M and N are its direction cosine, then L is given by A upon under root of A square plus B square plus C square. M is given by B upon under root of A square plus B square plus C square. And N is given by C upon under root of A square plus B square plus C square. Therefore, according to this question, A is equal to L, B is equal to 1 and C is equal to minus of L. Now we have to calculate the value for A square upon B square plus C square. So it will be equal to L square upon 1 minus L square. Therefore, we can say that the correct value here is L square upon 1 minus L square, which is option number D here. Next question is also a very simple question. If A, B, C are the intercept made by the plane passing through the point, and the point is 1, 2 and 3 parallel to the plane, 3x plus 4y minus 5z is equal to 0 on x, y and z axis respectively, then 3a plus b plus 5c is equal to. Here we know that we have to find the value for 3a plus b plus 5c. It is a very basic concept, and this question is a very important question. It always comes in the exam. So we have point 1, 2 and 3, and the plane is 3x plus 4y minus 5z is equal to 0. It passes through 1, 2 and 3. It means that it should satisfy the equation. So 3 into 1 plus 4 into 2 minus 5 into 3. It will be 3 plus 8 minus 15. 11 minus 15 is equal to minus 4. Now comparing the x part, which is 3x is equal to minus 4, x will be equal to minus 4 by 3. Similarly, comparing the y part, which will be 4y is equal to minus 4. So from here we can get the value for y, and y will be equal to minus of 1. Comparing the z part, it will be minus of 5z is equal to minus of 4. So z will be equals to 4 upon 5. Here x, y and z are a, b and c. So a will be equal to minus 4 by 3. B will be equal to minus 1 and C will be equal to 4 by 5. We have to calculate the value for 3A plus 5C plus B. So it will be 3 into A. A is minus 4 by 3 plus 5C. 5 into 4 by 5 plus B. B is minus 1. 3 and 3 will be cancelled. Here 5 and 5 will be cancelled. Minus 4 plus 4 is 0. So the remaining term is minus 1. Therefore, we can say that the correct value for this question is minus of 1. So option C is the correct option for this question. Next question is a very interesting question. Limit n tends to infinity. Summation of r is equal to 1 to n r plus 2 divided by r into r plus 1 into r plus 3 is equal to. Now, let us multiply the part of the denominator. So, it will be equal to r plus 2 divided by r into r square plus 3r plus r plus 3, which will be equal to r plus 2 divided by r cube plus 4r square plus 3r. So, it becomes limit n tends to infinity, summation of r is equal to 1 to n r plus 2 divided by r cube plus 4r square plus 3r. On substituting the values, it will be equal to 29 upon 36. So we can say that the correct option for this question will be 29 upon 36, which is option number A here. I hope this question is clear to you. Next question is, if A is greater than 0 and B is greater than 0, then limit n tends to infinity, A plus B power 1 by n minus 1 upon A whole power n is equal to. We have the expression which is limit n tends to infinity, A plus B power 1 by n minus 1 divided by A whole power n. Here we know that A minus 1 plus 1 upon A whole power infinity will be equals to 1 power infinity, and therefore this expression becomes limit n tends to infinity. See, we have to use one more form here, which is limit x tends to A f of x power g of x is always equals to e power limit x tends to a g of x into f of x minus 1. So this term becomes e power limit n tends to infinity n into a minus 1 plus b power 1 by n minus 1 divided by a. Now, on further solving, it will be e power limit n tending to infinity n into a minus 1 plus b power 1 by n minus a divided by a. A and a will be cancelled. So, this expression becomes e power limit n tends to infinity 1 upon a into b power 1 by n minus 1 upon n. We know that there is another identity which is limit x tends to 0, a power x minus 1 upon x is equal to log a. So applying this, it becomes e power 1 by a log b. So it will be e power log base e b power 1 by a. So this will be equals to b power 1 by a. So we can say that the correct option for this question is b power 1 by a, which is option number C here. Next question is limit x tends to pi by 6, 3 sin x minus under root 3 cos x divided by 6x minus pi is equal to. This expression can be written as 2 root 3 limit x tends to pi by 6 root 3 by 2 sin x minus 1 by 2 cos x divided by 6x minus pi. What we have done is we have multiplied and divided by 2 here. So it will be equals to 2 root 3 upon 6 limit x tends to pi by 6 cos pi by 6 into sin x minus sin pi by 6 into cos x whole divided by x minus pi by 6. We have taken 6 common here. So this will be equals to 1 by root 3 limit x tends to pi by 6 cos a sin b minus sin a cos b is sin a minus b. So it will be sin x minus pi by 6 divided by x minus pi by 6. So this will be equals to 1 upon root 3. So we can say that the correct answer for this question is 1 upon root 3, which is option number B here. Next question is if function f of x is equals to 1 minus sin x divided by log of 1 plus pi square minus 4 pi x plus 4x square is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2. Then f of pi by 2 is. So let f of pi by 2 be equal to lambda. Here x will be equals to pi by 2 minus h and pi by 2 plus h. Now we have that it is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2. So f of x will be equal to 1 minus sin x divided by pi minus 2x whole square. It can be written in this way. So f of pi by 2 will be equal to 1 minus 1 pi minus pi whole square, which will be equal to 0 by 0. So this is a 0 by 0 form. Therefore, it can be written as L is equal to limit n tends to pi by 2 f of x, which will be equals to limit x tends to pi by 2 1 minus sin x divided by pi minus 2x whole square. Again, it is 0 by 0 form. So again, we have to apply the L'Hospital's rule here. So it becomes L is equal to limit x tends to pi by 2, 0 minus cos x divided by 2 into pi minus 2x into minus 2. It will be equal to limit n tends to x tends to, see here it is x. So x tends to pi by 2 minus of cos x divided by minus of 4 into pi minus 2x. Again, it is 0 by 0 form. So again, applying the same L'Hospital's rule, it will be L is equals to limit x tends to pi by 2 sin x divided by minus 4 into minus 2. So it will be limit x tends to pi by 2 sin x upon 8. Therefore, L will be equals to 1 upon 8. So we can say that the correct value for this question is 1 upon 8. Therefore, option B is the correct option for this question. Moving on to the next question. Next question is, if y upon x cos power 4 alpha plus x upon y sin power 4 alpha is equals to 2 sin square alpha into cos square alpha, then dy by dx is equal to. See, in the right hand side, we can see that it is in the form 2 sin square alpha into cos square alpha. So we can make a identity here. It can be written as under root of y by x cos square alpha whole square, because under root y by x cos square alpha whole square will be y by x cos power 4 alpha, plus the second term can be written as under root of x upon y sin square alpha whole square minus 2 sin square alpha into cos square alpha is equal to 0. Again, it can be written as under root of x upon y sin square alpha whole square. We are just swapping the values, plus under root of y upon x cos square alpha whole square minus 2 into under root of x upon y sin square alpha into under root of y upon x cos square alpha is equals to 0. It can be written in this way because when we solve it and when we further multiply it, it will be minus 2 into sin square alpha into cos square alpha. Now we know that there is an identity which is a minus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab. So this is a square, this is b square, and this is minus 2 into a into b. So it becomes under root of x upon y sin square alpha minus under root of y upon x cos square alpha whole square, which is a minus b whole square. This is equals to 0. Therefore, we can say that under root of x upon y sin square alpha is equal to under root of y upon x cos square alpha. See, because its square is equal to 0, so the single term will be also equal to 0. Therefore, under root x into under root x into sin square alpha will be equal to root y into cos square alpha. So it becomes x sin square alpha is equal to y cos square alpha. So x sin square alpha divided by cos square alpha is equal to y. Therefore, dy by dx will be equal to sin square alpha upon cos square alpha. Therefore, the value of dy by dx is sin square alpha upon cos square alpha. So the correct option here is option number C, which is sin square alpha upon cos square alpha. I hope this question is clear to you. Basic identities are used in this question. Next question is, m is the slope of a tangent to the curve e power y is equals to 1 plus x square at x is equal to 1. then m is equal to. It is given that m is the slope of the tangent to the curve e power y is equal to 1 plus x square. So let this be equation number 1. Now differentiating it with respect to x, it becomes e power y dy by dx is equal to 2x. So it will be 1 plus x square into dy by dx is equal to 2x. From equation number 1, we have substituted the values for e power y. Therefore, dy by dx will be equals to 2x upon 1 plus x square. Now, let modulus of m equal to 2 into modulus of x upon 1 plus mod of x square. We know that arithmetic mean is always greater than or equal to geometric mean. So 1 plus mod of x square divided by 2 is greater than or equal to mod of x. So we can say that 1 plus mod of x square is greater than or equal to 2 into mod of x. Or we can say that 1 is greater than or equal to 2 into mod of x divided by 1 plus mod of x square. So 1 will be greater than or equal to mod of m. So we can say that mod of m will be less than or equals to 1. Therefore, we can say that m will belongs to -1 and 1. So the correct option for this question will be either -1 or +1 according to the given options. Here, option number D will be the correct option, which is 1. Next question is, V is the set of points on the curve y cube minus 3xy plus 2 is equal to 0, where the tangent is vertical, then V is equal to. Let this be equation number 1. We know that V is the set of points where tangent is vertical. It means that slope of tangent is infinity. It also means that y dash will be equal to infinity. So first we will find y dash. So y dash will be 3y square into y dash minus 3y minus 3 into y dash plus 0 is equal to 0. So y dash will be 3y upon 3y square minus 3x, which is equal to y upon y square minus x. Now, to become y dash as infinity, y square minus x should be equal to 0. So if y square minus x is equal to 0, so y square will be x. Let this be equation number 2. Now substituting x is equal to y square in equation 1, we get y cube minus 3y square into y plus 2 is equal to 0. So it will be y cube minus 3y cube plus 2 is equal to 0. So from here we can say that y cube will be equal to 1. So y will be equal to 1. Now if we substitute y is equal to 1 in equation 2, then we get the value for x. So substituting y is equal to 1 in equation 2, it will be 1 is equal to x, or you can say 1 square is equal to x. So x will be equals to 1. Now we have the set of point which is 1, 1. Therefore, we can say that the set of points is 1, 1. So the correct option here will be option number C. Next question is the equation of tangent of the curve y is equal to under root of 9 minus 2x square at the point where the ordinate and abscissa are equal is. So according to the question, y is equal to under root of 9 minus 2x square. On squaring both the sides, it becomes y square is equal to 9 minus 2x square, or y square plus 2x square is equal to 9. On differentiating it, it becomes 2y dy by dx plus 4x is equal to 0. We know that x is equal to y. Therefore, dy by dx will be equal to -2. Now, from the equation of the curve, 3x square is equal to 9, or x is equal to plus minus root 3. And we know that y is equal to -2x plus c. So, root 3 plus 2 root 3 will be equal to C. So 3 root 3 will be equal to C. We have the value for C, we have the value for X, and we have the value for Y. So the equation of line becomes 2x plus y is equal to 3 root 3, or we can write it as 2x plus y minus 3 root 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, we can say that the equation of line is 2x plus y minus 3 root 3 is equal to 0. So option number A is the correct option for this question. Next question is the maximum area of a right angle triangle with hypotenuse edge is. The question says about right angle triangle. So first, let us draw a right angle triangle. Consider this as the right angle triangle. Let us name it A, B, and C. It has hypotenuse H. Let this be X. So base will be under root of H square minus X square. We know that area of triangle ABC will be equal to half into base into height. Base is under root of H square minus X square into height is X. So area will be equal to 1 by 2 into X into under root of H square minus X square, which is equal to 1 by 2, or 1 into X is X by 2 into H square minus X square. Therefore, differentiating it, it will be dA upon dx is equal to 1 by 2 into H square minus X square plus X by 2 into minus 2x upon 2 into H square minus X square is equal to 0. This 2 and this 2 will be cancelled. So it will be equal to 1 by 2 into under root of H square minus X square minus X square divided by 2 into H square minus X square. Again, this 2 and this 2 will be cancelled. So the remaining terms will be H square minus X square minus X square is equal to 0. So H square will be equal to 2x square. So we can say that X will be equal to H upon root 2. Now we have the value for X, and area with respect to X will be half into H upon root 2 into under root of H square minus H upon root 2 whole square. So it will be half into H upon root 2 into under root of H square minus H square upon 2, which will be equal to H upon 2 root 2 into H upon root 2. So it will be equals to H square upon 4. So we can say that the area is equal to H square upon 4. Therefore, the correct option will be option number D here. Next question is the value of A for which the function f of x is equal to A sin x plus 1 by 3 sin 3x has extreme value at x is equal to pi by 3 is. A function is given. So first let us find its derivative. F dash x will be equal to A cos x plus 3 by 3 cos 3x. So f dash x will be equals to A cos x plus cos 3x. Now we have to find at x is equal to pi by 3. So f dash pi by 3 will be equals to 0. Therefore, A by 2 plus minus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, we can say that A will be equals to 2. So the value of A here is plus 2. Therefore, the correct option is option number D here. Next question is, if integral of e to the power x f of x minus f dash x is equal to g of x plus c, then integral of e to the power x f dash x dx is equal to. So let this part be I. We have to find integral of e to the power x f dash x dx. Let this be first and let this be second. So it will be equals to f dash x into e to the power x minus integral of e to the power x into f of x dx. So I will be equals to e to the power x into f dash x minus integral of e to the power x into f of x minus f dash x plus f dash x. See, what we are doing is we are adding and subtracting f dash x. So I have written minus f dash x and plus f dash x. In the next step, this becomes I is equal to e to the power x f dash x minus integral of e to the power x into f of x minus f dash x minus integral of e to the power x f dash x. So I will be equal to e to the power x f dash x minus, see, integral of e to the power x into f of x minus f dash x, it is equals to g of x plus c. So substituting the value here, this will be equals to g of x plus c minus integral of e power x into f dash x is I, which we have to find. This is the value which we have to find. So it will be equal to I. So I plus I will be 2i. 2i will be equal to e to the power x f dash x minus g of x. So I will be equals to 1 upon 2 into e to the power x f dash x minus g of x plus c. This is the required value for I. Therefore, we can say that the correct option is 1 by 2 into e to the power x f dash x minus g of x plus c. So we can say that the correct option here is option number A. Next question is, if integral of sine cube x into tan inverse sec x plus cos x inverse divided by cos power 4x plus 3 cos square x plus 1 dx is equal to f of x plus c, then e power f of x is. See, this function can be written as integral of sine cube x. Since this term is in inverse, so it will go to the denominator. So it becomes cos power 4x plus 3 cos square x plus 1 into tan inverse sec x plus cos x and dx. Let this be equal to I. Now, dividing numerator and denominator by cos square x, it will be equals to sine cube x divided by cos square x upon cos power 4x upon cos square x will be cos square x plus 3 plus sec square x. 1 upon cos square x is sec square x into tan inverse sec x plus cos x dx. Further, it will be equals to integral of 1 upon 1 plus sec x plus cos x whole square into sin x 1 minus cos square x divided by cos square x into 1 upon tan inverse sec x plus cos x and dx. On further solving it, this will be equals to integral of 1 upon tan inverse sec x plus cos x into 1 upon 1 plus sec x plus cos x whole square into tan x into sec x minus sin x and dx. So it will be equals to integral of 1 upon tan inverse sec x plus cos x into tan inverse sec x plus cos x. Therefore, I will be equals to log base E mod of tan inverse sec x plus cos x plus c. So we can say that the required value for this question is tan inverse sec x plus cos x plus c. Therefore, we can say that correct option is option number A here. Next question is integral of 1 upon sin x plus cos x plus under root 2 into under root of sin 2x whole square dx is. See, if we take 1 by root 2 common, it will be 1 by root 2 into integral of 1 upon 1 by root 2 sin x plus 1 by root 2 cos x plus under root of sin 2x whole square dx. So it becomes 1 by root 2 into integral of 1 upon 1 by root 2 is sin pi by 4 into sin x plus again 1 by root 2 is cos pi by 4. So it will be into cos x plus under root of sin 2x whole square and dx. So it will be equals to 1 by root 2 into integral of 1 upon sin A sin B plus cos A cos B is cos A minus B plus under root of sin 2x whole square dx. I hope this step is clear to you. Here we have used a trigonometric identity which is sin A sin B plus cos A cos B is cos A minus B. So this will be equals to 1 upon root 2 integral of 1 upon cos A minus B into sin 2x whole square. See here there is plus, not into. So it will be equals to 1 upon root 2 integral of 1 upon cos square A minus B plus on squaring it, it becomes sin 2x. So adding and subtracting 1, it will be 1 minus 1 minus sin 2x dx is equal to. So this can be written in the brackets, taking 1 outside and 1 inside. So it will be 1 upon root 2 into integral of 1 upon cos square A minus B into 1 minus, see 1 minus sin 2x can be written as sin x minus cos x whole square. So it will be sin x minus cos x whole square dx. On further integrating this term, it will be equals to minus 1 into 1 plus 3 into under root of tan x divided by 3 into 1 plus under root of tan x whole cube plus c, where c is a constant. Therefore, we can say that the correct value for this question is minus 1 into 1 plus 3 into under root of tan x divided by 3 into 1 plus under root of tan x whole cube plus c. So correct option is option number B for this question. Next question is if integral of dx upon x power 2022 into 1 plus x power 2022 whole power 1 upon 2022 is equal to minus of 1 plus x power m whole power n by m divided by n into x power n plus c, then m minus n is equal to. See, this is a very interesting question. Let S denote the set of all real values of x for which integral of dx upon x power 2022 into 1 plus x power 2022 whole power 1 upon 2022 is equal to minus of 1 plus x power m whole power n upon m divided by n into x power n plus c. Therefore, we have to find the number of elements in S here. See, the left side is positive. Therefore, any real root will be positive. So we can say that x is equal to 0 is not a solution. And here x will be equals to m minus n. Since the left side is positive and any real root will be positive, so x is equal to 0 is not a solution. Also, if we multiply everything out, then we find that this is symmetric under the degree reversion. So with some root x, also x minus 1 is a root. Also, if we divide it by x power 2021, the left side will turn into a convex function with a minimum at x is equal to 1, and the right side will be a constant. Therefore, we can say that x is equal to 1 is a solution. And we know that x is equal to m minus n. So we can say that there are no other roots or solution for this question. Only a single solution is x is equal to 1. And since x is equal to m minus n, so we can say that the value for m minus n is equal to 1, which is option number A here. So option A is the correct option for the given question. Next question is integral of minus a to a f of x dx minus integral of 0 to a f of minus x dx is equal to. We know that there is a identity which is integral of a to b f of x dx is equal to integral of a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. So applying this in the first part of the question, it will be integral of minus a to a f of dx is equal to integral of minus a to a f of 0 minus x dx, which will be equal to integral of minus a to a f of minus x dx. So it becomes integral of minus a to a f of minus x dx minus integral of 0 to a f of minus x dx is equal to. Now again using identity, it will be equals to integral of 0 to a f of a minus x dx. Therefore, we can say that the correct option for this question is integral of 0 to a f of a minus x dx, which is option number D here. Next question is if dot represents greatest integer function, then 3 pi by 4 into sin x plus 4x upon pi dx is equal to. Here the limits will be 0 to pi. So in integrating, it will be integral of 0 to pi 3 pi by 4 into sin x plus 4x upon pi dx. Taking 3 pi by 4 outside, since it is a constant, it will be integral of 0 to pi sin x plus 4x upon pi dx. On putting the limits, it becomes 3 pi by 4 into sin pi plus 4 pi upon pi minus sin 0 plus 4 into 0 upon pi dx. So on solving, this term will be equal to 1. So it becomes 3 pi by 4 into 1, which is equal to 3 into pi by 4. Therefore, we can say that the correct answer for this question is 3 into pi by 4. So option number C is the correct option for this question. Next question is integral of 0 to pi cos square 3 pi by 8 minus x upon 4 minus cos square 11 pi by 8 plus x upon 4 dx is equal to. We know that there is an identity which is 2 cos square theta minus 1 is equal to cos 2 theta, or cos 2 theta plus 1 upon 2 is equal to cos square theta. So applying this identity here, this will be equals to integral of 0 to pi cos 3 pi by 4 minus x by 2 plus 1 upon 2 minus cos 11 pi by 4 plus x by 2 plus 1 divided by 2 and dx. Here, this 1 and 1 will be cancelled. So it will be equals to 1 by 2, taking 1 by 2 outside because it is a constant. Integral of 0 to pi cos 3 pi by 4 minus x by 2 minus cos 11 pi by 4 plus x by 2 and dx. So we know that integral of cos theta d theta is equal to sin theta, and we know that integral of cos k theta plus d theta is equal to sin k theta plus d upon k. So the expression becomes 1 by 2 into sin minus x by 2 plus 3 pi by 4 divided by minus 1 by 2, and the limits are 0 to pi, minus 1 by 2 sin x by 2 plus 11 pi by 4, and the limits are 0 to pi. Here also the denominator will be 1 by 2. So it becomes, this will be equals to minus of sin minus x by 2 plus 3 pi by 4, and the limits are 0 to pi, minus sin x by 2 plus 11 into pi by 4. Again the limits are 0 to pi. Here 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 will be cancelled in both the sides. So this will be equals to minus of sin pi by 4 minus sin 3 pi by 4 minus sin pi by 2 plus 11 pi by 4 minus sin of 11 pi by 4. So substituting the values here, this will be equals to minus of 1 by root 2 minus of 1 by root 2 minus sin pi by 2 plus 3 pi by 4 minus sin 3 pi by 4. Again 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2 is 0, and we know that sin 2 pi plus theta is equal to sin theta, and sin pi by 2 plus theta is equal to cos theta. Since here is a negative sign, so it will be equals to minus of cos 3 pi by 4 minus sin 3 pi by 4. So again putting the values, we know that cos 3 pi by 4 is minus 1 by root 2 minus sin 3 pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. So this will become 2 upon root 2. Again on rationalizing, this will be equals to root 2. Therefore, we can say that the correct answer for this question is root 2. And hence, among all the given options, option number C is the correct option for this question. Next question is the substitution dy by dx is equal to z reduces the differential equation d square y upon dx square minus dy by dx is equal to 0 to a differential equation whose solution is z is equal to. Since d square y upon dx square minus dy by dx is equal to 0, so d square y upon dx square will be equal to dy by dx, and we know that dy by dx is equal to z. So we can say that it will be equal to dz upon dx, which is equal to z, or we can say that dz upon dx minus z is equal to 0. Therefore, dz upon dx will be equal to z. Therefore, z must be a multiple of e to the power x. Since we know that z must be a multiple of e to the power x, then from options it can be verified. So among all the options, the option that contains e to the power x is option number C. So we can say that z will be equals to a into e to the power x, since z is a multiple of e to the power x. So correct option is option number C here. Next question is the solution of 1 plus y square dx minus xy dy is equal to 0 and y of 1 is equal to 0 represents a conic, then its eccentricity is. We know that eccentricity is the ratio of distance of any point on the curve from the focus to its distance from the directrix. And for an conic, which is ellipse, the ratio is less than 1. Here, the solution of the differential equation 1 plus y square dx minus xy dy is equal to 0. So it can be 1 plus y square into dx is equal to xy into dy. It is also given in the question that y of 1 is equal to 0. So its eccentricity will be root 2, which is less than 1. So we can say that the correct option for this question will be option number D, which is root 2. I hope all the questions are clear to you and all the basic concepts, identities, formulas are also clear to you. Keep learning more and keep scoring high.